Yo, what is going on, guys? Sekapoko here, bringing you another Genshin Impact video. For this, we'll be going over two different sets of gameplay. The first set of gameplay we're going to go over is Childe as a character, going over what's good and bad about him and Diona, and then we're going to be going over some of the changes to items that are now renamed in the game, in case you did not know some of the items that be renamed. So, guys, without further ado, let's go and jump right into it. So let's go over Childe real quick. Childe has one thing about his kit that I am massively in love with. The first thing, the thing that I'm in love with is this thing. His talent is going to be just the passive talent that he gets is increases your own party's normal attack by 1. The whole level by 1. Like, so everybody in your entire party gets +1 on their auto attack talent, which is like really good. So like if you go to Kaya right here, he gets the +1 too. All right, unfortunately the talent showcase that I get for Kaya as our initial impressions here have 1400 attack on this guy, and we're gonna show off like what you could do potentially to maximize the Childe's DPS in this video. He gets Favonius and some other crap, or Braveheart, but you know, whatever. All right, so essentially this is what happens with Childe's auto attacks. When you auto attack anybody, you have just really kind of meh auto damage, just normal auto damage you can actually exacerbate really well. His overall talents for this actually are showing off some of the higher ends of the damage. He has one of the highest end 6 hits that I've seen, even in comparison to Official. For a lot of characters, but I can't like look at my official right now. But his 6th hit is actually really high. So for NAD builds, he will do pretty well if you get to the end hits for that last hit. That's a very high hit. The E, you can see, just drops out, does mass damage, and be able to like hit many people at once is very good. Unfortunately, the way that the E works is the longer you have the E out, the longer the cooldown is. So that when you have a very long cooldown for it, it's gonna just not be good. So watch out for that. All right, his ultimate ability, for his first ultimate ability here, this one is pretty cool for the damage, and you can really boost that up with like an elemental reaction type team and get that better. So if you wanted to make to boost this damage even further, you would use a character like Sucrose, and that would be a really good choice. You can see here now the cooldown's only on 8 seconds because I only had it up for a little bit instead of the 11 seconds I had before. The little marker that you have on everybody is if you hit a critical hit on anyone, you get that little modifier. And then if you hit them with any type of water damage, what's going to happen is that they're going to do big water damage like this. Boom. But you only have to crit with a water hit to do that, or hydro hit. Okay, now let's keep this out for a while so you can kind of see that it's going to be on a 14-second cooldown here. So that sucks. That's the first thing I don't like about the Childe kit, is that he has that very long cooldown. That part is not ideal. His overall charge attack damage is kind of mid. I'm not really seeing like a huge potential on that for boosting unless you're doing a vaporized comp. All right, but this is going to be the final ability here for Childe. You can now see his ultimate here. Boom. Not with a vaporize, but that would have been on 24,000 damage or so with a vaporize. So he does have some really cool damage with vaporize. I would say that one of the things I like about him, though, as far as a shield breaker, is that he can do this and do great damage toward anybody with a water shield. That is a very nice thing, because as you can see, if you hit anybody with the little modifier there, it does like a machine gun blow type thing and knocks people up in the air. It's very good for breaking a fire made shield because of the multiple hits that you're getting, and each individual hit tracks very well against the shield. Bam. You can see, just gonna go into E form here. Get lots of machine gun hits in here. All right, we've now put the modifier up. Let's go ahead and switch over here, and you can see, boom, just instantly breaks through it. So his ability to break shields is probably top tier. I really like him as a utility unit so far. As far as a damage unit goes, I can definitely see him as a really good reactor unit, but I'm not really in love with him as a main DPS. The only thing that I can see that I really like about his overall normal attack talent is that he has a really high 6th hit. Aim shot damage goes pretty high, but otherwise kind of meh. All right, next up we got Diona. And we're gonna go over thoughts and opinions on her real quick. Now, her auto attacks are pretty dog. If you look at this in comparison to Childe as far as the auto attack values that you get here. She starts at 61, goes to 91. He goes up to 138, and that just shows you the massive difference in between their skills as far as overall auto attack damage goes. It's actually insanely bad in comparison to Childe. So I was really disappointed as far as the normal attack damage values were going here. As far as her heal goes, everything that she has in her kit is HP based. So if you're building for an HP kit, don't even try to expect any damage. But I was actually a little disappointed with the amount of shielding that you get out of this, as well as the amount of healing that you get. So the first time going through here, the E has a duration. If you put that here, it's actually, if you just throw the E out, this duration is somewhat short, and you don't have a shield for very long duration. If you hold the E, however, the shield duration is very, very large, and you can like keep this up for a while. And it's completely based on her HP, and it does block a significant amount of damage. As you can see, this, you know, okay. And it does not last the full duration of what you have for the cooldown, but I think L5 hit. I don't know. Not really a big fan. It's okay. It's definitely okay. Okay. Her ultimate ability has an aura effect here. It kind of throws out and then has like an aura effect. This one scales off of her HP as well. Does continuous damage at 84%, which really is kind of mid. And then the HP regeneration is like 9% of her max HP plus 962. So what I've noticed on the heal tick here, as you can see, it's ticking about half the rate of Bennett, but it does damage at the same time. So I'd say that it's okay. I'm just not really a fan. I think that you're gonna get like 5-6k heals on the ticks if you go for max healing with maiden set, etc. But you're really not gonna see like en masse healing for this. I'm not really a fan of her as a healer right now. I do kind of like the ability to throw up a charged shield like this. What you would do is like throw up a charged shield, switch off to a different character, and then be able to like use Lisa's E, and then be able to block out or use whatever characters you want in order to do damage. That part I do like. That is kind of a nice feature, but I can do that on a lot of different characters already, and I really don't see the need to pull for an ice character that would do this, besides the fact that she is a healer. So that's her only real benefit, is that you can use her as a healer and a shielder too. So I think that's, you know, probably her best facet. So if I wanted to use her, get the heal out, and then switch to a different character, that'd be a good way to go. She kind of reminds me of a character like Changyoung as a healer, I guess. If I wanted to like equate her to anybody. So if we wanted to use Changyoung, but like don't have the Changyoung E out, but also get cryo procs on enemies, that would be a really good way to use her. It's like if you had a mixture between Changyoung and Kaya, and then you could get frost particles on enemies as well as get reactions that way. That would be a good way of using her. Unfortunately, like she doesn't get the, you have the aura to get the cryo particle, but you don't get the other stuff along with it. So I'm not a huge fan of this type of playstyle either, but I will be trying it out, and hopefully it will be good. So there are a couple different sets that have gotten their, actually I'll just go to here. So there's a couple different artifact sets that have actually changed and have been re-updated now. The first one that got updated, of course, is the Archaic Petra set. If you didn't know, this one actually was supposed to say, instead of elemental resistance bonus, it's supposed to say an elemental damage bonus for a specific element. The way this works is if you get a crystallized mechanic effect, what's going to drop a shield on the floor, and that shield on the floor is then going to give you a damage bonus based on the shield typing. So if you get the way that works for any Geo character, so if you are using a Geo character, you can see if I do create a reaction, I get an ice shield, I get an ice barrier, which would improve like ice damage. This would improve fire damage, etc. So this is a good way if you did want to use a Geo character with Archaic Petra in order to get the crystallized reaction to pick up fire shields, improve fire damage, or you get an ice shield or a water shield to improve a specific element's damage. That is a good way of using the character in order to get that damage bonus. I don't have a full Archaic Petra set on, because one of the things with the Archaic Petra set, if you did not realize, is the Archaic Petra set is actually only going to boost that one element. But if you notice, one of the particles that's almost impossible to get is a Geo particle. The reason a Geo particle is almost impossible to get yourself a Geo shield is because the element Geo actually has to be already up on the enemy. And the only enemies that I know of in the game that actually have a Geo shield up, a Geo thing up, is enemies with a Geo shield. And that's the only way you can get a Geo reaction shield, besides the the Sonic the Hedgehog dudes that already dropped the Geo shields. Those are the only two ways of getting those crystallized shields very, very effectively. The second set that's changed is going to be the instructor set. If you didn't know, this was actually not an elemental skill or elemental burst. It was actually on triggering an elemental reaction, increase all party members elemental mastery by 120. So the instructor set has actually been changed as well to change by elemental reaction. This was already in the game. This is just now noted in a different way. Now there's a lot of other talents that actually got changed too, that says that they got changed to say that they're not stackable with other passive talents, like Amber's gliding stack passive does not change as well. This one doesn't change either. But all right, guys, my name is Sekapoko. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, of course, like, subscribe, all the fun stuff. You have a great rest of your day. Peace.